Kennedy, nice to meet you finally.
Nice to meet you too.
Well, let's talk about, obviously, I know it's not the way you would have liked to have ended the day, but you do win the series. What's your takeaway from the entire day and this weekend against a good Kennesaw team?
I think the team, like as a whole, we came through for each other. I know it wasn't necessarily how we like to play, but we did play as a team, and that's all I can ask for when we do that.
4 hits on 7 at-bats today. How can you build on your performance going forward?
I just have to continue to stay disciplined while I'm at the plate, and just remember our plan and stick to it.
Tell me a little bit about your game. You've been at the leadoff spot all year, the first freshman to do it here since Keely Novak in 2012. Just talk about the confidence that, the coaching staff has in you to put you in that leadoff spot and really set the table for the offense.
It's insane to me, honestly. When I was growing up playing, everyone always told me I was special, and they would be like, I think you can start when you get to college. But I never really thought about that until I got here. And I realized that, I can actually do this. So, and having that confidence from my coaches just made it even easier, honestly. But it's still a lot of pressure on me as well. But it's fun.
What are you and the team going to take away from this game? Is it sort of a learning experience for you guys?
Yeah, I would say it is. I think our emotions got the best of us a little bit, and we just have to remember to stay focused and remember why we're here, play from the heart, and just do our thing.
Tell me a little bit about your defense. You've been playing mostly in the outfield because I know you came in as an infielder, but obviously with so much depth on this team, you got to be able to play multiple positions. And how's that gone for you if they're playing in the outfield?
It's a little bit of an adjustment. In travel ball before I got here, I would play outfield a little bit, but definitely a huge adjustment coming in. I started at short in the fall, and then as soon as season came, they put me out there in the outfield. I got my reps, and I think I'm good now.
You got to regroup quickly. You got another game tomorrow. What are you going to try to really focus on in practice?
I would just say my mental game. I watched this documentary from a golfer, and I just remember my brother shared it with me, and it says to be mentally tight and physically loose. So just taking that into each game and remembering, not to be too hard on yourself, but you don't want to stay too tight physically because nothing good ever comes out of that. So just remember why I'm here and mentally stay strong.
I'm always curious, playing these many games, games back to back to back as a hitter, do you like that because it gets you in a rhythm and you're comfortable instead of maybe having a week off and now you start over? Talk to me about that process because you seem to have excelled in these double headers.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you just get off of your game a little bit, and it's tough to get back in your zone, especially when you're struggling a little bit, but you don't really have that time in practice just to, reset and regroup yourself. But it's I would just say remembering who you are and that you've been in this position before and that you're capable of doing it again. It's just a reset of your mind.
What got you interested in playing softball? And then as you came to UCF, what grew you up as you grew up playing softball? Did you have players you looked up to and things like that?
Honestly, no. I grew up around baseball. That was my family. They all played baseball, and my parents just said, let's try softball. And, it wasn't the only sport I played. I also played basketball a little bit. I also wanted to do gymnastics for a while, but I found softball, that sport that just took my passion. So I didn't really have too many people that I was looking up to, except really my brothers and my dad, just watching them. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm here now.
That's pretty wild. I'll have to talk gymnastics to you during the Summer Olympics going on and things like that. I'll get your analysis on that. Who's been some of the players that you've kind of looked up to and talked to here at UCF as far as your leader on the team that maybe has kind of helped you lead the way and show you the ropes as far as how things go here?
Definitely Georgia Blair. He's been a real big help, especially throughout the fall in the infield as a shortstop, and Kia London too. And then as well as Aaliyah White and Kira Clarkowski. I really look up to all those people. They always stand by me and make sure I'm getting my education in on the game, not just physically, but just knowing the game and being a part of the team and stuff like that.
Well, you're off to a great start. Good, keep it going there, and great to talk to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Kenny.
I have Coach Bear on here for you.
Hey guys.
Right on, Coach. Well, I know that last game didn't go the way you would have planned, but you do win the series against a very good Kennesaw team that I think showed they got a great pitcher and a team that's going to be probably the favorites in the ASUN, and who knows, could see them again in the postseason.
Oh no, absolutely, I agree. The last game didn't go our way, but I think we need to learn from those things and approach it differently. And we made some young mistakes today, even in the first game when we won. So again, it's just collecting all of the information and getting better. And unfortunately, we don't get a practice tomorrow before our next game, but we talked about some of the things and turning moments in the game that we can be better, so that we can get the momentum back in our hands.
What are some of the more specific things that you took away from that last game?
Facing that pitcher Bennett, like we said, she's a great pitcher and she did a good job keeping us off balance. Really, that we get ourselves out. And so we talked about, when we're down, we have never really been down more than 5 runs in a game before. And so we didn't swing like we were going pitch to pitch, station to station, batter to batter. We were swinging out of the zone and not doing what we normally do. Learning from that, we get a lead off on, we need to move her over. We can't leave her at 1. And then defensively, our pitchers, keep the ball in the infield. We got to make outs. We gave up way too many outs with people that can really run on the bases, and we got to be better with that.
Every day is not going to go smoothly. I don't care what team in the country. They're going to have their days where they don't play their well. Is that something this team maybe needed? Because, you've had so many blowout wins early that sometimes you get, I don't want to say comfortable, but, maybe a little adversity early on, not the worst thing in the world here.
Oh, no, totally agree. We have, the girls that are older and have been on the team, in years past, have learned some of those things. And I know they're frustrated with some things, but those younger girls, they've only really seen a lot of success. And so sometimes we need to be humbled by the game. And we were. So like you said, it's a great learning moment. And what way to learn, I can't think of a better way to learn also winning a series against a very good team. So I like the game to be a little bit closer, of course, but I thought we saw some really strong innings from Bree, and one play or another play goes a different way, and it's a completely different ball game. So
you kind of talk about your the pitching performance today across both games.
Yeah, I mean, aside from again one pitch, and we needed to play better defense with Aaliyah in that inning where they scored those 3 runs. Aaliyah threw lights out. She kept them off balance. She had a lot of swings and misses. And then, our freshman Grace came in, didn't give up any real big hits. It's just we needed to play defense when the ball's hit in the infield. We need to make outs and get outs. And so I would have liked to see us do that better for her, but I really liked how Bree mixed up pitches, got some big strikeouts and good situations. I think it's going to be really good for her moving forward, because she pitched today, and so it was good to see that. And then Aaliyah coming in and closing it down. I thought Aaliyah actually threw stronger in her last 4 outs of this second game, even. So that's always promising that she's going to be able to face teams multiple times.
We had talked to Kennedy, 4 more hits for her in this doubleheader, and she's talked about how you as a coaching staff have given her all this confidence by hitting her leadoff and just having the confidence to keep her in the lineup. That's meant a lot to her and her confidence in producing. Just talk about her and what she brings to the table, because you've had confidence in her, put her in the leadoff spot, which not a lot of freshmen do get to hit leadoff for a top 25 team.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really know that I was going to put her in leadoff spot, but I think she just kind of won that position outright when we had our Nights Unlimited, and even in our series in January. I mean, she was hitting home runs, leading off with home runs off of our pitchers, and getting on and stealing bases. And so for her, it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, she's a triple threat. She got thrown out today, but I think, I'm still going to send her. And so, that confidence in her comes from her hard work and the talent that she has. And she's going to grow. She still is making some great plays and, offensive moves. And then there's times where we're learning stuff. And so there's a bright future for her.
Coach, how do you kind of manage to shake off and improve after this game with such a short turnaround?
Yeah, we just talked about the things that we needed to work on. And I think I've said it before that we celebrate wins for about an hour after the game. And we really take a loss about 30 minutes hard, and then we got to move on. And that's the beauty about our game. We play so many games. We don't have to wait a week. In this case, we get to play a different opponent tomorrow. And we actually haven't done that this year. So I'm excited to see what that feels like, because it's tough to play the same team over and over and over again. So I'm excited to, have the opportunity to play a really good team, a top 5 team, and see how we, respond and recover from today.
You mentioned that top 5 team, Arizona. They're going to come in with the nation's longest winning streak. They're at 23 as they took care of South Florida today, still undefeated. Mike Condrea, he said this week, because there was a lot of Arizona media asking about this Monday's game, a lot of buzz about this game. He says wasn't surprised that you've turned, how you've done at UCF, because you have one of the best databases for any coach with their background and the coaches you played for, and then kind of what you've been doing at all the places you've been. What does it mean to play someone like Coach Condrea and having those compliments from him, one of the greats in the history of the sport?
Well, I'm honored to, it's great to know that he even knows who I am in the game, because he's been such a big time coach, even when I was 13, 14 years old, watching, college softball, and just admired his teams and how he plays the game. And so that definitely means a lot. And I love that, he respects us in that way as well. So, he's always had strong teams, and it's never just been like a one-sided part of what he does. They play defense, they have great pitching, they hit the ball a ton, they can run, they have, they know how to hit for situations. And so I love that we get to play a team like them, because we haven't really had that opportunity since I've been here. So it means a ton, to me, just in the sport of softball. It's fun to be a part of that, and, be able to go up against greatness.
You went up against them when you were on Coach Sarr's staff at Washington. Did you ever play against them when you were at Pacific or at Boise? Do you have any memories of playing them?
I do. Yes, I played against him a few times as a player, and even when he was with Team USA. And so I think one of my memories is they have that big red building. I'm a pitcher, so I'm only going to remember the bad stuff, the runs I gave up and whatnot. But that big brick building in right field, Mackenzie Vandergeest hit a ball that hit the top of the building. And that's oppo for her, because she's a right-handed hitter, right? So I remember the next time she got up, I'm like, she is not going to get extended off of me. And so I'm going to jam her. Well, I hit her off in the helmet, and the ball came off of her helmet just about as hard as I hit a ground ball to the first baseman off of Jenny Finch. So that's what I remember.
Wow, that's a tough memory there.
Yes.
That's pretty wild. That's a wild memory. Only you would think of stuff like that.
Yeah, no. But as a coach, one of my biggest memories was coaching at Washington, and Caitlin Inglesby. Arizona had, I think they had Stacey Chambers at the time, and all these big time home run hitters, and Caitlin Inglesby shut them out as a freshman. So that was a really fun game for me as a coach. And just super proud of her, because it is tough to play in Arizona, in Tucson, at their field. I mean, their crowd is very, very passionate. So, that was an awesome coaching memory.
As you tell the team, this is not a game you need a motivational speech. They know who this game is. It's Arizona. But for the youngsters, because the veterans have been through this before, they battled the top teams there. But for the youngsters, do you lean on the veterans to tell them, hey, this is just another game you play at the highest level, be ready? I mean, what's kind of the approach here leading up to this game?
Yeah, you bring up a good point, Elo, because our freshmen are so mature and they're good, right? And so sometimes I forget that they're freshmen. And, I have to remind them, like, hey, when coach is talking, like, let's dial in. And, because you forget, like, they'll go and do something amazing. And you're like, that's not a freshman. So, yeah, we do need to remind ourselves and even our vets that they need to be reminded that it's just a game. Let's play our best game. And just to breathe and have fun and enjoy it, too, because, like I said in the past, we're getting to play softball during a pandemic. So, I mean, it can't be too bad, regardless of, the result of our game today.
No, playing a top team. It's going to be exciting on Monday. A lot of people in the country are looking forward to it. Coach, we'll see you, talk to you then, and good luck there. We'll talk to you after the game.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.